Welcome to Activations with JJ, April 2002, monthly energy update. Some of the themes of this episode are new beginnings with the new moon in Aries, integrating mirror and parallel timelines, and I will conclude this episode with a beautiful channeled message from the Agarthians of the inner earth. Hello, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me again for another episode. Whether this is your first one or you have heard from me before, I really appreciate you co-creating with me. I'm excited about what April brings. I feel naturally like the first of the month, especially during 2002. It feels like every first of the month so far, January 1st, February 1st, and March 1st have kind of been new beginnings for me personally, and almost like a new timeline. So I don't know how many of you have been jumping timelines or feeling big shifts, but I think we're really stepping into an age of quantum leveling up. So it means big things, big changes. And I just want to let you know I'm holding space for you. I know some of you are going through some hard changes, some things that are really ingrained are being shifted. You're being called to unsubscribe from relationships. That's the way that Feel Good Life put it. I remember watching a video a few days ago and he said, you guys are starting to unsubscribe or needing to unsubscribe from relationships. I know that many of you are going through that, as well as even just moving physically to different locations and feeling called to do so. So it's a really fun time, but also a little bit challenging. And we'll just see where this month takes us. As I mentioned in the introduction to this episode, I have some fun content in store for you today. Before we head into that, I do want to take a quick moment and let you know about some amazing events that I have coming up for April. The first is our Angelic Activation School. This is our second one that we've done. I'm just finishing up the first one, and it is incredible. I have had so much fun creating with a group of people who love working with the angelic realms. I feel like many of them are angelics and that they were called to the group because they're going back to their roots. And so if you feel drawn to the angels and you are interested in coming and attending Angelic Activation School, it will happen every Saturday Pacific time at 2 p.m. from April 9th to the 30th. So there's 4 weeks, 1 hour each, and they are all group sessions. At the end of this whole entire 4-week session, you will receive a personalized, I'm not doing one for everybody, for like the whole group. I'm literally doing one for each individual person, angelic awakening song that's channeled light language. So those are the incredible things that you have in store if you attend Angelic Activation School. If you click on the link below, you can find out a little bit more. I also have a new modality called Multidimensional Soul Activation. And I just kind of want to put a plug in for that because I feel like many people are being called to expand and they're not sure how. And this is definitely one of the modalities that will help you do it. The new cohort or group of people that I will take through Multidimensional Soul Activation does not start until May 1st. But because I have a limited amount of people joining that I just purposefully just like to work with small numbers, you should check in right now if you're interested. Check with me. There's a link below that you can find out more. You can actually meet with me for a few minutes and just decide if this is right for you. So again, click on that link below if you're interested. I know that's a ways away. But coming up even more soon than that are a couple of gatherings. We have actually 3 that I want to draw your attention to. We have our April 3rd Pleiadian group, our April 10th Arcturian group, and then on April 16th, a Galactic Federation gathering. All the links are below. I'm not going to spend a ton of time doing that. But if you want to just kind of get your feet wet, if you're not sure about this world of interdimensionals and all of this, it's a great way to do it. It's a beautiful, beautiful time that we spend together and co-create together. Every single time, it just blows my mind what we bring through, what is channeled, just incredible wisdom and information from our friends that have our best interests at heart. These are higher dimensional beings that are really service to others and providing wisdom and insights for humans as we navigate this time of ascension. So I just wanted to pop in and say all of that before we head into the main content of this episode. We have a few different topics to cover today. The first one has to do with new beginnings. As many of you might know, if you follow astrological signs, April 1st is the new moon in Aries. And of course, Aries being a very forward energy. I'm not a big astrologist. All of you know that. I dabble in it. I get intuition when I hear important astrological things happening. And then I just tap into spirit and I just kind of channel what that means at just a general level for everybody. Lots of people have brought through some incredible information. You can look it up on the internet. I found some really cool things. The points that I want to bring out for this new beginnings is that many of you are going to feel like it's a fresh start. It almost is like another new year. And if you listen to my February 2022 transmission and also the Lunar New Year transmission I did, you will know that I've been talking about all these fresh starts. I'm like, how can I go through so many fresh starts or new beginnings, so many rebirths? I think it has to do with the quantum leap that we're doing. We're literally rebirthing every month during 2022. I feel it. It's crazy. So one thing that I want to advise you to do is just, again, get used to change. Spirit has told me that so many times. I've repeated it in many, many, many episodes. Get used to change, especially with our physical bodies. Open yourself up to upgrades. I just published several light body template activations for all different starseeds. If you are not the starseed of the one I published, you can still listen to it. You'll still get something from it. But of course, the one that you resonate with most is probably your starseed family. But anyway, go ahead and listen to those to help your physical body as it transitioned into a crystalline light structure. That's what's happening with all these quantum leaps. That's the only way that we can evolve rapidly. If you remember a few weeks ago, I brought through some information from a book by Sal Rochelle called Earth Changes and Beyond, where he mentions that in a particular time, we will be shifting so rapidly as a race. That's the only way that we can make this ascension happen. Because otherwise, evolution just naturally happening without these quantum leaps is very, very slow. It takes millions and millions of years to make the changes that we're going to make in a matter of a decade in this next little while. Just kind of let that sink in for a second. Now, you came here for a reason during this time. You are capable of doing this. Your soul knew what it was doing. You have special gifts and abilities, not only to be able to help your physical body evolve rapidly, but also because you bring light and codes to the planet that weren't here already, that are assisting the entire collective to do what they're doing. And if you ever come to a gathering, you will see that I always feel called to mention that the people there are always bringing in codes. I feel like those who gather at these group sessions have special gifts with different codes that they've brought through, depending on their starseed race, depending on where they come from. But everybody has these unique codes, and it's this really cool feeling that we're weaving them together to create this fabric of the new earth, this energetic fabric of the new earth. So I want to make sure I mention that. All right, going back to the new beginnings, I just want to let you know I'm holding space for you. Another theme that came up with relation to the new beginnings was that of setting energetic boundaries, which I thought was really, really fascinating. And as I thought about it more, I thought, well, you kind of have to do that if you're shifting, because when you're going from one vibration to another or one timeline to another, there is a period of transition, and you're sort of bouncing back and forth. And if you don't know how to set energetic boundaries, you're going to be pulled more frequently back into your old timeline over and over again until you learn to set that boundary and sort of disconnect in a way from some of your old habits, old relationships, old physical environment. I mean, it's many, many things that are still pulling you back in. So set the intention that you can intuitively disconnect from the things that you need to disconnect from in order to shift to the new vibration. The interesting thing that Spirit has told me is that once you've settled into your new timeline, you can go back and visit the old timeline without it holding any power over you. So I tell people, I'm like, sometimes you just need a break. You don't need to disconnect permanently for the rest of your life. You literally just need a break to establish that new vibration And then you can go back and visit anytime. We're multidimensional beings. We're multidimensional beings. We can cross dimensions and densities with ease without it affecting us negatively if we stand in our sovereignty and we're comfortable with that. But a lot of us are learning to step into our solar plexus and hold our ground energetically so that we can learn how to be multidimensional. So those are just some thoughts about these shifts and about setting energetic boundaries. The next topic that I want to bring up is actually a repeat of something I said about a month ago, where Spirit led me to let everybody know that we're still experiencing this energetic sort of drain because of parallel timelines. And so if you're feeling out of energy, yes, it could be ascension symptoms, but it also could mean that you have a lot of parallel timelines and parallel lives and mirror timelines. That's the name of the episode, and I'll add a link below, that you need to pull in and integrate. It's feeling to me like you're letting your energy siphon off with these other timelines. What does that exactly mean? I know some of you are like, what in the world is she talking about? Okay, here's the deal. When you go through life, there are many instances where you're presented with 2 or 3 options. And obviously you have to choose one, like where to move, what job to take, what relationship to pursue. All of those things present to you different possibilities. And you know that in times you kind of wonder what would have happened if you would have made a different choice, and you let your mind wander, right? You go down that path. Well, every time you send your energy to that what if situation, you're creating a mirror timeline that really exists. All right. So what we're trying to do right now, in order to pass through the portal of the new earth, we've got to have a lot of strength and a lot of energy to propel us there. And we've got to pull in these mirror timelines and these parallel timelines. I've had a lot of people reach out and say, well, how do I do it? Well, I did an activation. I did literally a meditation to do that. So you can look at the link below. But intention is extremely powerful. Even with intention, though, I know a lot of you out there are still struggling. You're still struggling. You're trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Why isn't it working? So here's the other thing that Spirit dropped in. It's subconscious programming. We're still going through that undoing and reprogramming all the conditioning of many, 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 many generations. And the people, the beings that I usually bring in to do that are Arcturians. That's something I feel is done really well on an individual personalized level. Whether you work with me to facilitate that and to channel that, or you simply invite the Arcturians in right before you go to bed one night and you say, okay, I need some reprogramming. Can you please offer me that? And they're so benevolent. They're so helpful. And if we consent to their help, setting the intention that it's for our greatest and highest good, and following and trusting our intuition, I guarantee you that it will happen. It will happen. And I encourage you to journal before and after you do something like this. So those are just some thoughts on how to pull in those mirror timelines so that you can regain the energy that you feel like you need. Some of you, it's funny, this just came to me. I'm kind of just channeling this. Do you guys know what? You're feeling a decrease in energy, not because you're more tired than you were yesterday or the day before, but because the environment and the vibration of the planet is raising and you're not going with it as fast as it is. And so you're all of a sudden noticing that you're more tired, that your vibration is different and it's not giving you that boost that you need. Wow, that's kind of fascinating. So it's like the environment around you is changing that's causing you to feel tired. It's nothing inside you. So we're turning it up. We're turning up your energy levels. We're inviting more in, expanding you. That's what my multidimensional soul integration and my multidimensional soul activation, both of those modalities are designed to help you get more energy because you're pulling in different parts of your soul and waking up parts of your soul and expanding into the vibration of the new earth so that you match it more and you don't feel like there's a disconnect there. So that's kind of a fun thing to think about. All right. As I mentioned in the introduction, there was something else that I wanted to bring through, something I've never done before. and I'm planning on channeling the Agarthians. Now, the interesting thing is I've never channeled them, and I actually have heard of them. I know I have, but they really haven't been on my radar lemtely, to be completely honest. I know many of you have heard of Telos and Shambhala and some of these ancient civilizations going underground. Many people think that Lemurians and Atlanteans, some of the remnants of those civilizations ended up going into the inner, what we'll call the inner earth, and that they've developed these civilizations there. I truly believe that that is actually something that has happened. How can they survive? Well, they're at a different density, in my personal opinion. And so it's just like, how can there be beings on Venus? We don't see them. Well, because they're at a different density that our cameras and our measuring equipment don't pick up. So just open your mind to that possibility. I'm sure most of you here in this podcast already have pretty open minds. But I'm just, if this is new for you, then you feel a little resistance, just kind of sit with that. One of the fun things that came up as I was considering who to channel and what to channel today was the Agarthians said they are very good at setting energetic boundaries. And that's what ties in. And that's why they wanted to bring through some information for me, because obviously that was one of the topics I just spoke about, was creating this energetic boundary. I think what their meaning is that when they had to go underground, they literally had to shift in vibration away from what they had always done. And so they were jumping timelines too, and they were shifting. And we're doing the same thing in just a little bit different way. But I believe that they do have some wisdom to share. So I'm actually setting the intention to channel the Agarthian wisdom keepers and teachers is basically how I'm kind of going to put it. And we'll see what they have to share with us. So let's kind of sink into that open state where we can receive, listening to the tones of this music, allowing it to relax us. Dear ones, we are the Agarthian wisdom keepers, the holders of the inner earth, flame of wisdom. We come to you today to bring you an activation as well as information to help you during this time of shift. For as many of you are experiencing upgrades and vibrational shifts to higher densities, it is important for you to stay embodied in a grounded vibration to allow what you are experiencing to be absorbed by your physical body. So at this time, we will begin by providing you with light language activations to assist you to feel safe and grounded even in the midst of shift and change. Hago ugolai kunokohi abodo rodokonto hianago godagai ko abodoro koro adu nonono karakaya aro kolalanda aisha nonokota abola. Dear ones, we invite you to take a deep breath as you integrate the energy of those vibrations, as you allow the feeling of safety and security to wash over your body. We will continue to bring through insights that we hope will assist you during this time. Many of you are going through a time of great decision making. Decisions on what vibration to pursue, on what timeline to pursue. This energy is very familiar to us, for at the times of great shift of the planet, we too had many options presented before us. And we chose the existence of the inner earth. As the planet shifts, we feel called to connect more with the surface dwellers as we feel their hearts changing, and therefore you may hear more from us in the future as other channels begin to bring through our voices and our wisdom, allowing us to become one with the rest of the collective as we enter into an age of unity consciousness on the beautiful Gaia. As you begin to shift in your bodies to an ascended form, we encourage you to sit and pause and observe and appreciate this time. We feel as if many of you are simply thinking 10 or 20 years ahead, trying to escape some of the emotional ups and downs of our current time. However, the more present that you are, the more gently you will glide into the new age. As you invite a connection with your body, as you seek to understand all of the systems, all of the physical cells, you will feel more united instead of out of alignment with your body. Listen to your bodies, dear ones. Listen to your bodies. Become one. Just as we are shifting out of duality into non-duality in the new age, you will feel less separated from your body. Many of you, due to spiritual teachings which you have received, see all of the layers and the separations and the soul versus the human form. They are not different, dear ones. They are all source and they are all one. And you all exist in beautiful harmony with one another. Let that thought soak in to every fiber of your being. You are one. We are one. And we are unified in source energy. We leave this message with you in love and with a great desire to connect with you in the future. We are always available if you seek to communicate with us. Farewell. Gently allowing yourself to come back to your body, to bring your awareness back. That was a beautiful, gentle energy, and I am extremely grateful to the Agarthians for allowing me to bring through some of that wisdom. I'm also grateful to those who are here co-creating with me. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. As always, I'm sending you so much love and honoring the divine being that you are.